The Boston Marathon finish line, 7 hours, 14 minutes. Behind the barrier, a woman in a rain jacket was screaming numbers, counting like she had every dawn for 20 years. 100 yards away, a young man on forearm crutches pushed toward the line. His bib didn't bear his own name. It read Patricia.
That's my name. 1, 2, 3. Keep going, baby.
But it started 20 years earlier, in a Boston hospital room, with a boy the doctors said would never walk. In 2004, Patricia Reeves, a school aide, walked into St. Elizabeth's to foster an 18-month-old baby boy named Daniel. He had cerebral palsy. 3 other families had returned him within weeks.
Mrs. Reeves, I'll be blunt. Daniel will never walk without assistance. You need to understand what you are signing up for.
They all gave him back. I won't.
She signed the adoption papers. That night, she brought him home to a small apartment with thin walls. Before she slept, she set her alarm for 5:30 a.m. The first stretch would begin before the sun rose. At 5:30 the next morning, Patricia rose and knelt beside the bassinet. She took Daniel's tiny legs and gently stretched.
The doctor said these muscles would never work, but they will.
She found a physical therapist named Evelyn. By the end of the first session, Patricia knew she couldn't afford the full treatment.
I can teach you the home routine, but it means every single morning, without fail. Can you commit?
I'll find a way to pay. Just show me what to do.
Insurance covered almost nothing, so Patricia cleaned offices on weekends, on her knees, scrubbing floors until her back ached. Every month, she handed Evelyn cash earned from bathrooms and break rooms. Evelyn never asked where it came from. The ritual began. 5:30 every morning, stretching and counting. Neighbors heard her voice through the walls. 1 more, baby. 1 more.
Somebody has to believe in his body until it learns to believe in itself.
The alarm was set again. Tomorrow, it would ring at 5:30. Weeks became months, then years. The alarm clock rang at 5:30 every morning. Patricia counted, stretched, counted again. The walls were thin. Down the hall, a neighbor paused, listening. 1 more, baby. 1 more. On Saturdays, Patricia scrubbed office floors downtown. On Sundays, she wiped down cubicles. Every penny went to Evelyn for the therapy. Then one morning, Daniel sat up by himself for the first time. He wobbled, but he stayed.
He's fighting. Every muscle in his body is learning a language nobody thought it could speak.
By age 3, he could bear weight on his legs when Patricia held him. The doctors still said it was pointless.
I don't need a miracle. Just give me enough energy for 1 more morning, 1 more count.
Her knees ached. Her hands cracked from disinfectant. But when the alarm rang, she was on the floor before her coffee cooled. The neighbor stopped complaining. A note appeared under the door. Don't stop. The alarm was set. The next morning would be the same. 5:30, floor, stretch, count. 6 years passed. The alarm clock still rang at 5:30. Daniel was 6, and his legs were stronger than any doctor predicted.
He's gonna do it. Right now. I can feel it down in my bones.
Daniel pushed up from the floor, wobbled, and took 3 shaky steps before collapsing into her arms.
You walked, baby, you walked.
By 9, he moved through school on forearm crutches, fast enough that other kids had to jog to keep up.
Mom, I am not the slow one anymore.
You were never slow, baby. You were just waiting for your legs to catch up to your heart.
But when Patricia brought him to the clinic, Dr. Keller shook his head.
Don't expect more. This is a plateau. Crutches are his ceiling.
Ceiling. He keeps saying that word, but I don't believe in ceilings.
Patricia was in her 50s now. Her knees popped when she climbed stairs. Her cleaning shifts left her hands swollen, but the alarm still rang at 5:30.
She's been doing this since before I could remember, and she never asks for anything.
Daniel was taller than most kids his age, but his crutches were still his shadow. He'd watch her come home late, smelling of bleach.
I am going to walk across the room for her. Just once, without these things.
One evening, alone, he set the crutches against the wall and took 3 wobbling steps before grabbing the counter. She didn't see it, but he wrote it down in a notebook. 3 steps. The neighbor still heard the counting every morning. Lower, rougher, but still steady.
Lord, my body is tired. But if I stop, his body stops believing. One more morning.
Daniel started waking up earlier. Not to train, not yet, just to lie still and listen to the count through the wall. He promised himself then, one day he'd show her that her counting paid off. The break came unexpectedly. Daniel set down his crutches in the kitchen and walked, 4 steps, 5, across the linoleum floor.
He's doing it. 14 years of counting, and he's walking past me without a crutch in sight.
Patricia stood frozen, her coffee cup trembling in her hand.
Baby, look at you.
I see it in her face. This is what all those mornings were for.
He wanted to run to her, but his legs buckled at step 6. He grabbed the counter. The crutches still waited against the wall.
Not yet. But I am not done.
That night, behind his bedroom door, Daniel searched Boston Marathon Mobility Impaired Division. The finish line was 26 miles away, but so was the first step. He kept it secret, but the next morning, before the alarm, he extended his route, past the kitchen, past the mailbox, each day a few steps farther. The crutches were still there when he returned, but now, so was a countdown only he could hear. 8 years passed. At 22, Daniel walked into the Boston Marathon registration office on crutches, a medical clearance form in his bag.
Mobility Impaired Division. You are registering on crutches.
Number. I am registering for my mother. Pay the substitution fee and print her name on the bib. She's Patricia Reeves. She did the first 20 years of this race. Every 5:30 morning, every stretch, every count.
The official paused, then typed. The screen displayed runner details, bib name, Patricia.
We don't usually do this, but I'll process it. She must be something special.
Every mile I cover out there, she already covered in this apartment. The bib belongs to her.
The bib emerged from the printer, Patricia, in bold letters. Daniel held it with both hands, as if it were the fragile proof of 20 invisible years.
She has no idea. And she can't know. Not until she sees me wearing it at the finish.
He tucked the bib into his drawer. The alarm clock was still set for 5:30. Tomorrow, the real training would begin. The next morning, his alarm buzzed at 5:30. Daniel slipped out while Patricia still slept, his crutches muffled with old socks.
Same floor, same stretch. Only now it's not about crossing the room. It's about miles.
In the park before dawn, he swung forward on his crutches, arms burning, lungs raw, 3 miles, 4 miles.
Nobody sees this. Just like nobody saw her counting through the walls for 20 years.
He fell twice that first week. Once on gravel that tore his palms. He got up both times.
When I was 6 and took 3 steps, she cried like I'd won a war. I am going to give her an actual finish line.
The neighbor's new baby woke at 5:30 now. Through the wall, a tiny cry, then the sound of Daniel's crutches on the stairs. At breakfast, Patricia watched his hands shake as he poured milk. She set down her coffee, studying him.
Just not sleeping great, Mom.
The next dawn, he was back on the path, counting his own numbers. 26.2. Patricia had been waking up to an empty apartment for weeks. She'd hear the door click before dawn, and Daniel would return pale, hands trembling.
He comes back tired and his hands are torn up. What is he doing out there before sunrise?
One afternoon, while putting away his laundry, she found a Boston Marathon brochure half hidden under his mattress.
Boston Marathon? Why would he be reading about a race? Daniel, what is this? I found it under your mattress. Are you interested in the marathon?
It's nothing, Mom. Just something a guy at work gave me. Thought it was interesting.
He's lying. I've seen that look before. The one he wore when he'd hide his falls from me.
That evening, Patricia knelt in the empty church, hands clasped, whispering a prayer for whatever burden her son was carrying.
Lord, whatever it is, give him strength. And if he can't tell me, let him be okay.
The next morning, at 5:30, 2 alarms rang in the same apartment, neither one in the other's room. The final week. Daniel came in from his last pre-dawn run, hands calloused, the bib still hidden in his drawer.
I almost told her at breakfast. The words were right there. Mom, I am running 26 miles for you, but she'd beg me not to. She'd fear for my body like she's feared every fall. I can't let her carry that.
That evening, he wrote her a letter. Not an apology, a receipt. He wrote about the 5:30 mornings he remembered, the sound of her voice through the wall, the way she never counted for herself. He sealed the envelope and placed it next to the bib that read Patricia.
Something is shifting. The air in this apartment feels like it did the morning he first sat up on his own.
The night before the marathon, Daniel laid out his gear, pinned the bib, stared at her name in block letters.
Tomorrow, she'll see her name cross that line, and she'll understand that every single count led here.
Both alarms were set for 5:30. The apartment went quiet, two hearts beating the same rhythm, neither knowing the other was awake. The alarm screamed at 5:30. Patricia reached over, but the other side of the apartment was already empty.
He's gone. The air feels the way it did before his first steps, charged with something I can't name.
On the kitchen counter, she found a folded note in Daniel's careful handwriting. Mom, come to the Boylston Street finish area at noon. Don't ask questions. Trust me.
Boylston Street. That's where the Boston Marathon ends. Why would he want me there?
Daniel stood in the athlete's village, crutches steady, bib pinned to his chest. Patricia faced the crowd.
She's probably just reading the note now. She'll be there. I know it.
Patricia pulled on her rain jacket. She glanced at the empty stretching mat by the window, then walked out.
I've followed his count for 20 years. I'll follow this mystery too.
2 buses moved through Boston that morning, one toward the starting line, one toward the finish. Neither passenger knew the other's destination. The gun fired. Daniel surged forward on his crutches. Steady rhythm, mile 1, mile 2.
One more step. One more mile. She didn't stop my legs. She won't let them stop now.
By mile 10, his palms blistered. His arms screamed. Heartbreak Hill rose ahead, a wall of asphalt. Spectators saw his bib. Go, Patricia, a man yelled. You got this, Patricia. A girl screamed.
They're shouting my mother's name. Every stranger is carrying her voice to me.
His arms trembled. He thought of the 5:30 count, the thin walls, the sound of her voice. One more. Patricia, Patricia. The chant caught on, wave after wave, propelling him.
This isn't just a race. It's an echo of every morning she spent on the floor for me.
Mile 20. His legs were numb, his rhythm ragged. He refused to stop.
She never quit on a single count. I won't quit on the last mile.
Patricia stepped off the bus into a wall of noise. Boylston Street was chaos, cheering music, a tide of spectators.
Excuse me. Where's the finish? I am looking for my son.
She pushed forward, gray lokes damp from drizzle, until she gripped the cold metal barrier right at the finish line.
Hours already. Where are you, baby? Pick up the phone.
A loudspeaker crackled. Mobility impaired division still on course. 7 hours and counting.
Mobility impaired, on crutches. The brochure. The secret training. Oh Lord, is my boy out there running?
Her knuckles whitened. She started rocking slightly, mouthing numbers, a reflex from 20 years.
1, 2, 3. Keep going, baby. Keep going.
The crowd roared as another runner came through. Patricia barely noticed. Her whole world narrowed to the distant curve of the road. 7 hours and 10 minutes on the clock. Her lips moved faster. She didn't know who she was counting for, only that she couldn't stop. Mile 25. Daniel's vision blurred at the edges. His lungs burned. He saw the 26 marker like a beacon.
I can hear the announcer. I can hear the finish. She's there. She has to be.
The crowd swelled, a wave of sound washing over him. Hands reached over barriers, clapping. A volunteer pointed toward the grandstand, shouting. Finish line straight ahead.
Mom, I am bringing your name home. I am bringing every count with me.
His crutches blurred as he found a final surge of speed, arms, torso, legs moving as one desperate machine. The finish arch materialized before him, huge and white, the clock ticking past 7 hours, 12 minutes.
Just a few more crutch strokes. She'll see the bib. She'll know.
The noise dissolved into a single roar. Daniel passed the 26-mile banner, entering the final stretch. Patricia's eyes swept across the final stretch. Then she saw the crutches, forearm supports pumping like pistons.
The bib, it says. Patricia. That's my name. That's my name on my son. 1, 2, 3. Keep going, baby.
She pushed off the barrier, running along the railing, her voice cutting through the roar.
Don't you stop? You hear me? Don't you dare stop.
I know that count. That's her voice. That's the sound that filled every morning.
Their eyes locked across the 100 yards. Patricia's gray locks whipped in the wind as she ran toward the finish arch.
20 years, baby. Every single morning. You bring it home now.
She sees the bib. She knows it's for her. Every mile, every count, she knows.
The finish line was 30 meters away. Daniel didn't slow down. Daniel's crutches pounded over the timing mat. The finish clock froze at 7 hours, 14 minutes. He had crossed. He stopped. Turned. Patricia's count still echoed in his head. Every one of those 20 years, he opened his hands. The crutches dropped, clattering onto the pavement like punctuation at the end of a very long sentence. A collective gasp rippled through the spectators. Someone behind Patricia whispered, "Oh my God."
No crutch, no wall, just her face and this pavement.
Daniel stood completely still. His legs trembled, but they held. For the first time in 7 hours, he was on nothing but his own strength.
He's standing. My baby is standing. After Heartbreak Hill and 26 miles, he's standing like he did in the kitchen that morning.
Patricia's counting stopped. Her fists uncurled from the barrier. She pressed both hands to her mouth.
One more step. Like the kitchen. Like every morning. For her.
The finish line photographer raised his lens. Daniel took the first unassisted step toward his mother, the bib that read Patricia, the only thing holding him together. Daniel took 3 more shaky steps, each one a mile, each one a morning. Patricia vaulted the barrier, her rain jacket billowing, and crashed into him. He wrapped his arms around her, and for the first time in front of anyone, Daniel stood on his own, holding his mother.
My baby walked the marathon.
No, Mom. You ran the first 20 years. I just finished the last mile.
The photographer's flash froze the moment. The bib that read Patricia pressed between 2 hearts. The crowd erupted, not in cheers, but in tears. Strangers held each other. Some simply covered their mouths. Daniel didn't let go. Patricia's counting had stopped, replaced by a desperate, silent weeping.
20 years of 5:30. Every count was worth this single breath.
The marathon photographer lowered his camera, his own eyes wet. The frame he had captured would win awards, but more, it would prove that a mother's count could move mountains. Within hours, the photograph spread worldwide. News anchors read the headline, "Mother's name crosses the Boston Marathon." Patricia sat on her couch, watching herself ugly cry on national television. She pressed both hands to her chest.
That's me. That's my count.
It was always you, Mom. The bib just told the world what I've known my whole life.
The World Press Photo Jury called it the image of the decade. At the awards gala, the citation read, "For capturing the exact moment 20 years of invisible labor became visible." Reporters flocked to the small apartment with thin walls, wanting to hear the 5:30 a.m. story.
I don't understand. I just counted. How does that win awards?
The bib that read Patricia was framed on the wall next to the award-winning photo. Every morning, Patricia still rose at 5:30. The count was part of her now. A non-profit director saw the photograph and came to see her in person.
They asked me what I called the moment when a stretch seemed impossible. I said, I just told him one more.
That phrase became an official program, funded by donations and staffed by the same therapist Patricia paid with cleaning cash 20 years ago. Evelyn, now gray-haired, guided Patricia's hands as she demonstrated the routine on a new foster baby.
I am not a therapist. I am just a mother who counted.
Then she knelt beside a child and showed them exactly how her hands had moved every dawn. The One More logo, a sun rising behind a pair of crutches, appeared on pamphlets and websites.
She turned our living room into a classroom. The same walls that heard her counting are now hearing other parents learn.
Every morning, still. The alarm rang at 5:30, but now, other doors opened at the same time. One evening, Daniel sat beside Patricia on the couch, staring at the framed bib on the wall.
You know, every step of that race. I heard your voice. Not the crowd, not the music. Just you, counting. I put your name on that bib, because without your voice in these walls, there is no me crossing any finish line.
He's giving me credit for his legs, but he was the one who pushed when every doctor said, stop.
Tears slipped down her face, but she didn't wipe them. She reached over and held his hand.
I was just doing what mothers do. You did what doctors said was impossible.
You gave me the morning. I just gave you the marathon.
A morning for a marathon. I'd do it all again. Every 5:30, every scrubbed floor.
The bib that read Patricia stayed on the wall, and beneath it, they sat in silence, counting the peaceful breaths between them. Time passed. Patricia bent a little more when she knelt, but the alarm still rang every morning at 5:30. One afternoon, a caseworker brought a new foster placement, an infant girl with cerebral palsy. Returned by 2 families already.
I am 70 now. The doctors will say the same thing, but I know better.
That evening, she set the alarm for 5:30. The same clock, the same thin walls. At dawn, she took the baby to the mat. Her hands, older now, found the routine without thought.
1, 2, keep moving, little one. We've got miles to go.
Down the hall, the neighbor pressed her ear to the wall. She heard a familiar murmur, then a number. The counting was back. Another child would grow up with that voice in the walls.
1 more, baby. 1 more.
The sun climbed over Boston. In the thin-walled apartment, the count continued. Same time, new legs, endless morning. Dawn broke over Boston, the clock tower striking 5:30. In the thin-walled apartment, the count began again. 1 more, 2 more. The numbers that had stretched a baby's legs now stretched across 2 decades. Daniel's crutches rested against his wall, silent now, but they had carried a name across a finish line. The bib that read Patricia hung beside the award-winning photo. 2 frames, 1 heartbeat. In the living room, another mother knelt with another child, guided by the same hands that had refused to stop. 20 years of stretching before the sun, and the finish line was just the beginning. The count never ended. It only found new legs to believe in, and every morning, the sun rose to the sound of a voice saying the same thing. 1 more. Fade to black.